guys. So I just want to talk about a little bit about being diligent and share my story, my testimony. It's just a small part of my testimony because I think that when people say testimony, they're really talking about a story, a backstory, and it really has nothing to do with God. But this story actually does have something to do with God and obedience and being reluctant and not having confidence. So let's chat about diligence and pursuing the things of God with in respect to social media. Foremost, I want to apologize for my lighting because I know it's not the best, but I wanted to do this really quick video because I am very, very busy. So I recently, about a year ago, the Lord spoke to me and told me to start making content for my YouTube channel. Now, at the time, I felt so underqualified to do that. I didn't feel like I had the right equipment. I didn't like physical equipment and spiritual equipment to do it. I was like, because if I talk, I'm going to talk about everything that involves my life, which is the Lord, which is, faith, which is love, relationships, family, college, where I live. And I'm like, I don't really know if I want to really speak. And I was so reluctant doing what he told me to do, but I still did it. Like, I felt that internal pressure to just not do it and ask myself, who are you to do it? And so I started to make content for my YouTube channel. Now, prior to doing YouTube, working in school, we worked on a podcast, and my friend John was just such a good supporter. He was like, Show, you should do podcasts. I'm like, okay. I filed that in my thing at the back of my mind to eventually get to. This was 2017. So fast forward to 2018, I start my YouTube channel content because it wasn't when I started having a YouTube, but really being serious about adding content 2018. So I started it and I was just like dragging my feet. And I say this with a smile, but it's not funny. It's important to, when God tells you to do something, that you do it with diligence. But because of a lack of confidence, I started doing some wild stuff. I just, wild, by wild I mean, like I was still being obedient to God, but I was just taking my time doing it. And God dealt with me probably at the end of the year to really get serious about speaking up and using the voice that he gave me and the ability to speak to people and just being really, really serious about the things of God. And I was like, okay, I will do it. I will be obedient to God. I will start making content for my YouTube channel. It's fine. I'm going to start today. So that was in about October. So in about January, a radio host online saw my content, some of my content that I was creating on a regular basis, and he reached out to me with an opportunity to do a podcast. Now, when he first offered, I panicked because I was like, well, are you prepared to do this podcast? Are you prepared to keep producing content? And the answer was yes and no. My heart was not prepared, but all of my circumstances were. And so I had to get my heart right before God. So I said yes because I knew it was something that God was leaning on me to do. But then I also I had to go in my prayer closet and really consider what it was that God was asking me to do in that moment. And I just felt so underprepared. I felt like it was like one of those things that caught me slipping. So I was, if I can be fully disclosed, I was like nervous and I was like scared because I was going to be actually doing something that I felt like God was leaning on me to do. And I'm like, oh my gosh, but this just doesn't make sense. It's at a bad time. My job, my job, my job. Well, long story short, some things changed with my job, and it just opens up my schedule so much more. Things that I initiated, by the way, things that I wanted to happen with my job, things I prayed about, things I've really been thinking about. And when God started pushing me in towards, I rejected it and I resisted it, but I could just feel that it was God's will. And I was like, I don't understand you here, but I'm going to go with the flow of things that you're pushing me to. So God was pushing me, but in my heart, I knew it was the right direction. And that's the important thing. If God is giving you a mandate, regardless of how you feel or other people feel, you need to do those things. You need to be diligent in those things, because God wants to use social media. And I know it sounds so cliche. People have been saying this, God wants to use social media to do this. But I feel like majority of Christians are so caught up in being liked or having a bunch of people following them. As long as I get my voice out there, I'm being obedient. It's God's voice to take that voice, or it's God's responsibility to take that voice, put it on the wind, and let it go to who it needs to go to. It can just change one person. I am down for that. I'm 100% completely for God using my voice, even if it's to speak to just one person, even if it's just to get disobedience out of my heart, even if it's to encourage somebody, even if it is to just, just to say, hey, I got your attention, you're obedient. Okay, let's move on to the next phase. So for me, doing this has been an honor. Being on social media, being on YouTube has been an honor, but it's also been a challenge to everything that I stand for, because I like to be low key. Like I'm very out and extroverted when it comes to my friends, but other people know in my business, I have ambivert tendencies when it comes to letting other people into my life, letting other people into my personal business, my struggles between me and God. I think that is very private, and people take that information, they try to use it against you. But just know, if God tells you to do something, it is for a reason, and to be obedient to those things that He's telling you. Be obedient to the things He's putting on your heart, because you don't know what's on the other side of your obedience, and you may not know in this life. You may find out later when you get to heaven, like, you know what? I was being obedient, and it was affecting and changing something in the spirit realm. For this person over here who decided to stop being so cowardly and go and do what God was telling them to do, and then it sparked a revival, and then over here, these people. So you just never know the power and the effect that your obedience is having on, first and foremost, you, on your heart. The things that obedience does to your heart, I cannot state enough how important it is to be obedient. The effect that it has on your heart is just amazing. Secondly, you don't know who it's affecting in the spirit realm when you're just obedient to the things God tells you. So that's just a quick let's chat social media push and video for social media and the Great Commission, but it's also a personal story and a bit of a praise report, because I really don't like to use testimony unless God is at the center of it. So thank you for listening. Thank you so very much for bearing with me while I got through my reluctance to do social media. You guys have been amazing. God bless you.